We're gonna get started while Beatrice is getting set up. And I want, for the invocation, Adolfo, Elmer's not here. You wanna do the invocation? Okay, for the invocation, we're gonna call Mr. Adolfo Morataya.
Okay, please stand up and stand up, please. Thank you. We're gonna have the invocation of the meeting. So, thank you, Lord, for letting us be here in this room today, and for giving us this opportunity to enhance our personal skills and leadership skills, and also for enjoying this day and enjoying the future days are coming, and also pursuing our abilities to help each other in this enterprise that we are here for that and more. Thank you, and I know.
Please remain standing. We're gonna say our pledge. Can you please, we're gonna have Beatrice to help us with the pledge.
Oh, it's me.
Yes.
Okay, all of you raise your right hand, put it on your heart. And I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you may be seated. And now I want to call the Toastmaster of the day. This gentleman is a big asset in a club. I'll be very optimistic, very excited. Please help me welcome Mr. Adolfo Morataya.
Thank you, Mr. President. Appreciate it. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. We're going to have a meeting of action today with two amazing speakers that are going to cover the same subject or the same theme in their competent communication manual. So it's going to be an interesting session. But first, we're going to see about the roles that are going to be covered here. These roles are the people that help those speakers and help us here to carry this meeting. So let's start with the mission statement by Bas. Could you please give us the mission statement?
Yes. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth.
Thank you, Bas. Good job. Now, one of the roles that is extremely important is the next one that you're going to hear. This is the accounter role, and we're going to hear from Jesse Alvarado about what is the accounter.
Yes, I'll be doing the out counter, and one of the things that we look for when people are speaking, we're looking for filler words, and they are words like you know, like, I, and, that, and so, and other words that we normally use when we're speaking. These are filler words that we don't really necessarily have to use when we're speaking.
All right, thank you, Jesse. Did it? The next role is the grammarian, and the grammarian is not here at this moment. I believe he probably will arrive. I haven't received any text from Bobby yet, but I think he probably will stuck in traffic or something. And meanwhile, what I'll do is I'm going to briefly summarize what the grammarian does. The grammarian, when he arrives, is going to look at our speakers or anybody that speaks here on the lectern, and he's going to tell us how those words came out, how the grammar came out, and one aspect that he does, and there he comes, our grammarian, he's going to tell us about what is called the word of the day, and he's going to write it down here, and it's the word that we use during the table topics session of the meeting. We need to include that word, but the grammarian is going to tell us about it. And next we're going to go with the timer, who's Bas also going to be in the role of timer. So Bas, can you tell us about grammarian? Please come in, buddy.
As a timer, I will be monitoring the timeliness that you have on your speeches. For example, the speech takes between 5 and 7 minutes. When you get up to the 5-minute mark, the green light will come on, and after 6 minutes, the yellow light, and 7 minutes, the red light. Then you have 30 seconds to conclude your speech. And evaluation, people that evaluate the speakers, they have 3 minutes, from 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes, a green light, 2.5 minutes, a yellow light, and red light will come on 3 minutes, and you have 30 seconds to conclude the evaluation. Table topics. Green light will come on 1 minute, yellow light will 1.5 minutes, and red light will come on 2 minutes. At that point, you can conclude your table topic speech.
All right, thank you, Baz. Thank you very much. Very good. So that means that, oh, we have one more role. Is when people speak, people are going to be voted on. In other words, we will select a winner, the one that you think is the best. And to do that, we're going to vote. And to explain that role, we have Jesse who's going to tell us how to vote.
Okay. Now, when we have it's time to vote for a speaker. We have today 2 speakers, and we're going to select who the best speaker is. At the bottom, there's 3 ballots that we want. One of them, we're going to select it for the best speaker. And when it's time to select the best speaker, you're going to tear that off, and you can put the speaker's name. And I'll be collecting the ballot. And also, when we have, no, I'm sorry, the best, the second from the bottom to the top is a ballot for the best speaker. The first one at the bottom is table topics. That's another section of a meeting when people are asked to speak about a word that we're gonna select. Then you're also gonna vote who is the best speaker out of the table topics, and then we're gonna select that. We're gonna vote. And also the best evaluator. We have 2 evaluators and 2 speakers. We also we're gonna evaluate the evaluator. We vote on the evaluators. And the rest of here is, if you want to make any comment on the person that spoke, you can write a comment and give it to the person.
All right, thank you very much. Now, we're going to start with Karina as our speaker number 1. However, we don't have here Elmer Dinoso. Elmer Dinoso did text us and he cannot make it. So what I'll do, I'm going to take over the role of Elmer, and I'm going to do your evaluation, Karina. So what I'm going to need, Karina, is could you pass me your competent communication manual? You have the name, the title of your speech is there?
Number 4.
Number 4.
Project number 4.
Yeah. Okay, can you transfer it to me, please? Okay, so while you do that, we are gonna also, what happens is before the speaker speaks, we're gonna also indicate who the evaluators are for the speakers. The speakers will speak, but they will have evaluators, and those evaluators will speak after the speech. Now, I'm gonna be the evaluator for Karina, and Beatrice is gonna be the evaluator for Roy, right? Now, since Karina is the first speaker, I, as an evaluator, I'm gonna tell what Karina is gonna say today. What is her subject today? She's gonna cover project number 4. In project number 4, the objectives are: select the right words and sentence structure to communicate your ideas clearly, accurately, and vividly. Use rhetorical devices to enhance and emphasize ideas. Eliminate jargon and unnecessary words. Use correct grammar. Those are the main points, and the speech should last between 5 and 7 minutes. So having said that, I will welcome here a person that I would like to say something about. Yeah, what I would like to say is that this is a person that has been an active manager for over 20 years, with last 10 years in the ATM field, recently made a drastic change in careers to become a direct sales marketing personnel. She loves animals, especially dogs. Did you know that? Yeah. One wish on the bucket list that she has is to be able to donate to a big chunk of money to Delta. And she loves Toastmaster meetings. She finds it very fulfilling and challenging, and the experience, right, to help and to develop herself and grow. And having said that, please welcome to the lectern, Karina. So yours, Karina.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
Have everyone been to Las Vegas before?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes.
Raise their hand, everyone? Of course, right? Of course, everyone has been to Las Vegas. Las Vegas has transformed in the past 30, 40 years into like a vacation paradise. It is a place for events, for trade shows, for conference, for weddings, for sports events. It is definitely a city that's one of its kind. Now, my first trip to Las Vegas, it was about a long time ago. During my college year, my first year in college. It was in the summer, school just ended, summer vacation just started. We were all sitting in the kitchen with all my roommates, 3 boys and 2 girls. We were talking, chit-chatting, and somehow, somewhere, someone mentioned the name Las Vegas. So immediately the room was like flooded with anxiety. We were all so excited. And we would say, come on, let's go to Vegas. Did not take much persuasion. We all packed a little backpack together and all piled up into Tom's car, one of our roommates. We decided, here comes Las Vegas. It was a decision that was made on the spur of the moment. So Tom drove his little boat. We call his Buick a boat. We got on the number 10 freeway. And about halfway into Vegas, we felt like the car was acting funny. It was getting slower and slower and was making a sound like ging, ging, ging. We said something was wrong with the car. And then we smelled something as if something was burning. We immediately realized the car was overheated. We turned off the air conditioning, rolled down the windows, and Tom immediately got off the freeway, got into a gas station, and we just pour gallons of coolant into the tank. We let the car sit for about an hour and thought, okay, it should be good to go. We got back onto the freeway, and by that time it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The burning sun was like right on top of my head, and I could feel like the hot wind with the dust, the sand, the hot air was just splattering on my face. It was a very unpleasant feeling, and I started to develop blister on my lips. But eventually we made it to Vegas, believe it or not, we made it there. We drove into Vegas and we decided it's about 7 o'clock at night. We better find a motel first just to get the night situated. So we drove along the strip. We went to the downtown area. We were back and forth. Couldn't find anything. All the signs said no vacancy, no vacancy. At that time, we were all exhausted, tired, hungry, and we decided to forget about the motel. And a unanimous decision, we decided just to find a place to have dinner, explore around maybe 2 or 3 different casinos, and then turn around and went back home the same night. And that's what we did. We have our buffet dinner in one of the hotels, and we went around 2 or 3 casinos. I think it's maybe about a little after 1 o'clock in the morning. We all went back into the car and decided to drive back to Los Angeles. And it was Richard's turn to drive back home. We went into the car, and Richard started to drive up the freeway. And in about 5 minutes, the rest of us, the 4 of us, started to doze off. We just started snoring. Maybe about 2 hours later, Richard yelled at us, "Wake up, you guys, wake up, something's wrong with the car." Again, we all startled and woke up and said, what's wrong with the car? And we realized, earlier the night when we were so exhausted, so hungry, so thirsty, and so intense in trying to find a motel, all of us forgot to put gas in the car.
Oh.
The car was running on empty. The pointer was like all the way beyond the E letter. It was like way beyond. It wasn't moving. By that time, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. We were in the middle of nowhere in the freeway, pitch dark. We didn't know where we were. We knew there was somewhere on the 15th freeway. There was not much we can do. So all of us got off the car, 5 college kids then, right? We were young, we were invincible, we were strong. The 5 of us together pushed the car off to the nearest exit and drove and pushed it to a nearby gas station. But it was 3 o'clock in the morning. The gas station was closed. Again, there was nothing we can do. I could feel that our temper was just boiling. The emotions were just burning. We were just trying so hard not to start pointing fingers at each other. And we did a very good job to just keep our mouths shut. We all went back quietly into the car and sat there for the next 2 hours. The 2 hours felt like an eternity. Finally, at 4:45, the station owner came by. We gassed up the car and we continued our journey home. My first trip to Las Vegas. It was definitely a very memorable trip for me, but at the same time, a very unpleasant experience. Fellow Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I kind of felt that heat and that kind of coming out. Wasn't that pretty good? I think it was pretty good. And that desperation, the gas station closed. What do you do now? Okay, that's good. That was good. Now, next, we're going to have our next speaker. And the evaluator for this speaker will be Beatrice. So I'm going to let, just go ahead.
1 minute. 1 minute, please.
1 minute? Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
1 minute.
silence.
Adolf, do you want to explain this to our guests?
Yes.
Oh, you
Yes.
did? Okay, you did.
Well,
Sorry, I wasn't.
as Jesse explained, you know, in the first segment here, you can write comments to the speakers if you would like to. And there is for the first speaker and the second speaker. And you can write to anybody comments. Me too. You can write comments. They did a great job. No, whatever. Anybody. If you are quiet there, I'm going to write a... You are too quiet. Okay? Now, I know that... I don't know if Bobby is ready or not. We'll see. Still very concentrating what he's doing.
That's okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, now, let's proceed with Beatrice, who is going to tell us what the speaker and the title of the name of the speech of Roy is.
The title of Roy's speech is 5 Levels of Relationship. And it's project number 4. And objectives for the speech: select the right words and sentence structure to communicate your ideas clearly, accurately, and vividly. Use rhetorical devices to enhance and emphasize ideas. Then eliminate jargon and unnecessary words. Use correct grammar. And the speech is for 5 to 7 minutes. All the best.
Okay, well, having said that, I would also like to say something about this next speaker. He's been in real estate for full time since 1982. He's been married 1 year yesterday,
Wow,
And-
congratulations.
according to China, and 1 year today, according here, today, right? Because, and he's been experienced in sales, he's been a trainer and a coach, and he's speaking today on, as Beatrice said, the title of his speech, 5 Levels of Relationships. So with that said, let's welcome Roy to the stage.
Thank you. Have you ever been a little confused or a lot confused about relationships and why things aren't working?
All the time.
I used to be too. And then I observed that if you analyze things, relationships, like everything else, are on a spectrum. And they have a logical progression, but they don't but they can also shift from different stages. So let's talk about the first one. You may have experienced this. People that you say hi to. That could be anybody from your neighbor that you never talk to except to wave to in the morning, the people that you see in the coffee shop every day, that you don't really, you might know their first name, you might not. If they have name tags, you might. But you really don't know anything about them. But there are thousands of them around, but they're always the same people. And a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that these are maybe their friends. Or when you ask them, you know, what are your friends doing at work? Well, what friends? Okay, but the reality is what friends, but you always think about them, you know, this kind of thing, and we're embarrassed when we go to a company picnic, and we don't even know the people 2 desks away from us. But that's the reality. Those are just people that you kind of know. Then the next level is people that you are really acquaintances. People you do things with. Maybe you go to work with them every day and they work in the next cubicle. Maybe they have the same job as you. Maybe they're somebody from your baseball team, somebody from Toastmasters, somebody from your baseball team. 4-H, no, they don't have 4-H in the city. That was an old time. But things, you know, particular things. But, and most people think those people are their friends, maybe even your lover, okay? Somebody that you have sex with could be an acquaintance. But think about it. You don't really, you do this thing with them, but what is the difference between an acquaintance and a friend? How do we distinguish? Really important. That's where the confusion, I think, comes for most of us. Okay, if I was to call up Voss and say, Voss, I want to go to the Dodgers game on Friday. You want to go to the Dodgers with me? And Voss says, nah, I'm a soccer man. If that tells me, if that's where the conversation drops, that tells me Voss is my acquaintance. Because what is the difference between an acquaintance? Acquaintance is something you do specific things with. The function matters. A friendship is the person matters. So if Voss says, no, I'm really not much of a baseball person, but if you got time on Friday, why don't we do this? Why don't we go get drunk? Or why don't we go whatever? But do something, in other words, let's get together. The difference between a friendship and acquaintance is that are you doing it because you want to be with a person or because you want to do the activity? Because how many people have the experience of working 20 years in a company, you quit, and all those people that you thought were your friends, you never hear from again. Those were acquaintances, even though you know for 20 years. With their wedding, everything else, they were still just acquaintances. Now, what's the third level? The third level is a sexy friend. Once you become friends with somebody that you start getting real intimate with. Most of us at this age have at least reached that point. But a real sad confusion, and I remember the first time that it happened to me, was I had this woman I was really fond of, and she had this quirky thing, and I'd go and say, come on over Friday night, and as soon as we were done making love, she started making the bed, and I was supposed to leave. Now, I've heard of guys, it took me a while to get used to the fact that this was a woman instead of a guy doing this. But it does happen, because, we had a really good sexual relationship, and she used to call me, and I'd go over, and it was great. But that people get into thinking that they have this acquaintance that happens to move quickly into sex, and they think that they're lovers, and they aren't, just acquaintances. Big screw up, lots of broken hearts, lots of problems. Okay? So to be a lover, you gotta first be a friend. Not if it's more than an acquaintance, you gotta be a friend. Somebody you want to do other things with. And like most people, I had some relationships that I didn't care much about anything but that. Okay, but that's the first four. If you sort those out, then finally the fifth one. The fifth one is a committed lover. Of who you know, acquaintances, friends, lovers, committed lover. Committed lover is somebody that you decide that's who you want to do everything with. And I didn't really understand the strength of that until I became involved over the telephone with a woman that I was teaching English to, and I'd never met. Well, I'd talked to her for a couple of years on the phone, but I had never actually seen her. I had never even seen a photograph of her. Because it started out as, I'm just going to teach this person English as a favor to a relative. And about 2-3 years into it, she starts talking about, as you know, we've become able to communicate, friends, I guess, maybe. And she starts talking about this guy that's really treating her bad. And I said, felt real funny. I backed off. I said, "What are you feeling funny about?" I'm jealous. I'd reached the point where, without ever even seeing this woman, I didn't want anybody else seeing her. That was interesting. So we started talking about it. And I realized from that that you can actually reach the point where you can be without having gone through all of the other things. Each of these, in other words, each of these stages are individual. And you can vacillate between the two. There have been more than once that I've been guilty of having thought I was in, or having been in a committed relationship that quote unquote didn't work out. Okay, moved back down the scale to where it just became acquaintances, or it just became friends. And my former wife is one of my best friends. One time she said, "Roy, what went wrong?" So we said, "When we were dating, we got along great. When we were married, it sucked. And when we got divorced, everything's great." I guess the relationships change. So as you're going through life, look at your relationships. Look at the way people react to you and figure out where you're at in your relationships. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, it's such a very interesting subject, and I think everybody was paying attention to that initial question of relationships and friends and acquaintances. That's a pretty amazing subject. So we thank you for that, Robert. And now, continuing with our session, we're going to at this time call for the timer report. So we'll please, Bas, give us the time report.
Karina, you spoke for 6 minutes and 27 seconds, qualified.
All right.
And Roy Fisher was 7 minutes on the dot.
Ooh.
So qualified.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Bas, for that. Thank you. At this time, please, you can vote for either Karina or vote for Roy, whoever you would like to vote.
Oh, vote for the best speaker?
For the best speaker, please.
Now I'll be collecting
The
the
better one.
votes. Best speaker.
Roy?
Yeah. I can move you.
How are you doing that?
Eye contact.
I'm gonna ask Bobby. Bobby is our grammarian today, and I described already what a grammarian does for our guests. But we don't have the word yet, so Bobby's gonna select it and write it down for us. So while you vote, you can continue voting.
Okay.
And I wanna vote too myself. Let me put my, select my vote here. Thank you, Jim.
No, just right here. Just Roy or Karina.
Facetious.
Perfect, thank you.
Alright,
Thank you, Bobby.
so should I?
Go ahead.
So our word for today is facetious. Facetious is an adjective meaning not meant to be taken seriously or literally. Example, Adolfo's comments about today's events were facetious.
Oh my God.
So let's try to use this word in our table topics.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we're gonna go, we needed Bobby to say that because we are gonna go to our next section of the meeting, of the session, which is the table topics master section. And that today is gonna be conducted by none other but our president, Jesse.
All right, thank you, Adolfo, appreciate it, did a great job. My fellow Toastmasters, it's a pleasure to be the table topic master of the day. And don't forget to use the word of the day. What is it?
Facetious.
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 Yeah, that's a good one. Absolutely. Good luck. Well, I have several questions that I'm going to be asking, and I'm going to select randomly different people. But one of the questions says, when I ask this question, based on this question and you answer it, you got to remember to use the word. Question number 1. What did you get into trouble? What did you get into trouble for the most when you were young? Who's the troublemaker here? Vas, please come on up.
Let's welcome back.
All right, welcome back. Let's go. Good job.
Time is up.
Time is good running.
Can you repeat the answer?
Here it is. I can.
Focusing on facetious.
What did you get into trouble for the most when you were young?
Are you young?
As a child, I experienced with smoking. So what happened was, at the age of 8 years old, I decided to test this out because in Sri Lanka, you can go to the store and buy cigarettes at a young age because you buy them for your parents. So I got in trouble because what happened was, I went behind the well in the backyard and I was smoking. My neighbor saw this. So my neighbor had talked to my parents. I didn't know that they knew. So life went on. So I go to my cousin's house and we didn't have any money to buy cigarettes. So what we did is we took newspaper, put tea leaves and rolled it up and started smoking. It's the act of smoking something, not necessarily a cigarette. We thought we were adults, like, wow. So when I did that, my friends, they weren't around, of course. My cousin and I were the ones that always get in trouble for this. So one of his neighbors told his parent. So what happened was, it was something that we did not knowing we were going to get in trouble, but we did get in trouble later on. My father came to me and said, I heard what you did. How did that happen? The neighbor. So from that day, I didn't want to talk to the neighbor. It was really facetious because I didn't think it was that important to get in trouble for smoking tea leaves. Thank you.
What?
All right, boss. Good job. Good job. Just give me 1 second. Got it. Sorry. Thank you. Got it. Thank you. Absolutely. Good job, boss. And here's the next question. If you could rename yourself, what name would you choose? Who would that be? Beatrice.
What? I already have evaluation.
No.
Give it to.
That's okay. Beatrice could be.
Beatrice.
No, I
Beatrice.
already have evaluation.
No, Beatrice, you have to be.
I got plenty.
Due responsibility.
That's right. Let's welcome me.
Let's welcome Beatrice. All right.
I have evaluation.
Okay, still?
Can you repeat the question? Thank you.
If you could rename yourself,
Oh,
what name would you choose?
okay. If I could rename myself, I can hardly think of renaming myself because I'm so in love with my own name. I love my name. It's, I remember like on this name issue in India, when anyone would ask me, what's your name? I would say Beatrice, and then they couldn't get it. Because in India, you can't get this, you're so used to the different kinds of dialects there, and it's so Americanized and westernized. My name is so westernized, it's so far from the usual Indian names. So every time I was asked, I said, that was the only time I remember I wanted to change my name. And because it sounded, I needed to pick an Indian name. So they said, okay, something short, something short. So I would say Bia. I would say Bia. So then they would say, oh, is it Priya? Because Priya was the #1 name in India. Every other girl was called Priya. If you go to movies, the heroine there is Priya. So I said, okay, that's so easy. So my name got changed to Priya. But I was not happy, and I had to deal with it. Until I moved out from India and I found my liberation in the United States of America, the freedom to say Beatrice, and that's who I am.
All right, good job, Beatrice. Good job. You did a great job. Next question. Tell us something money cannot buy.
Oh, beautiful. You should have given me.
Fernando, come on
All
up.
right, Fernando.
Yeah.
All right,
All right, good job, my friend.
I'll be the speaker of the evening. I have no idea what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say something that just comes out. Okay, and it's been an honor to be with you today. Okay, can you repeat the question? See, I followed the norm, so I got to treat it.
Tell us something money cannot buy.
How much time do I have up here?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well, for me, you can have love, you can have money, you can have capital, but if you don't have peace, that is a virtue within each one of us, because peace allows us to be able to help the next individual that needs help. You have a clarity in your mind. If you have clarity in your mind, you're able to what? Focus. And if you can focus, you can know Beatrice's name, Karina, you can see other personalities as yourself. Right? Now, when you don't have peace, let's contrast it for a minute. When you don't have peace, what happens? Like the gentleman said, hey Roy, I just go ahead and I sleep with somebody thinking, I have found someone. You need to find yourself first. And finding yourself first is what? Self-development. At least for myself. Self-development, being around the right peers like Voss, Jesse, and the gentleman Adolfo. With me, peace stands for many things, but in principle, it stands who you are and who you associate with. A reflection of that is who you are. At the end of the day, you have to look at yourself. If you don't, you grab a mirror and you look at yourself. That is the mirror where your problems lie. And I'll leave you for a second to think. Close your eyes, every single one of you. Including you, Jesse. You called up here, I'm going to call you too.
Set the timer.
I'm going to let you grab with your right hand, hold your heart. And with your left hand, hold your stomach. This is not a joke. Pay attention, because you need to focus on you. I'm going to take three breaths. Do you feel your heartbeat with your hand? Right?
Yeah.
That is called peace. That's it.
All right, thank you.
Good job. Now, just so you know, when you're up here, you wait until I come up and you know.
Oh,
You
yes,
No, you learn it, it's okay, it's a learning process. But you did a good job, Fernando, you can maybe see it now, thank you. That's a lot of fun. Here's the next question.
Oh, so we have this
One more.
One more. What would you buy first if you won the lottery? What would you buy first if you won the lottery? What would that be? This young lady here, what's your name?
Kami?
Kami, can you please come up and share with us, what would you do if you won the lottery? Okay.
What I would do if I won the lottery is buy myself a house.
Okay.
And that's
On
it.
what?
You have one, two.
You have 1 million minimum.
Oh,
Tell us about the house.
What kind of house? Where?
I don't know where, but it's gonna be a tiny little house with a big garden, and yeah, I'll buy a house the first thing I'll do, and then I'll think about what I'm gonna do next while I'm sitting in my little house.
You want a pool?
No,
No pool.
no pool.
How big is the house?
800 square feet or less.
800?
One bedroom.
Why
Sorry?
is that? Why is that? Why don't you want a mansion? Why don't you want
Why? For what?
the pool? That's what
People are designed to, they're drinking the Kool-Aid of this society of
Yeah, there you go.
consumerism. You
There
don't
you
need
Now you're
that.
talking. Now you're talking. Okay.
You know, you don't need that. And then you're paying taxes on that giant house. Why am I paying taxes on that?
So you're single.
No dog?
That's why. Because
No,
you're single.
I mean, when I was with somebody, it's the same story. You don't, why pay for taxes if you're not even living in it? I have a friend of mine spent $800,000 on a house in Simi Valley. They're in foreclosure now. They have 5 bedrooms with just 2 people.
But you wouldn't be in that situation, you would be paid off.
Yeah, but it's pointless still,
Well,
paying
it is.
taxes on, even if you paid off the house, why pay taxes on a house?
You can write it off.
Okay, I have to go now.
Hey, you're watching the time, good job. I'm not gonna continue that conversation, I'll be disqualified. Good job. Okay. Now I'm gonna call for timer's report.
I'm not gonna get reinvited.
Timer's report. Boss, that was me. 1 minute 25 seconds, I qualified. Beatrice, 1 minute 26 seconds, qualified. Fernando, 2 minutes and 12 seconds, you qualified, buddy. You have 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so you have, your speech should be 2 minutes, and you have 30 seconds to wrap up, so you qualify.
That was the red.
The red means you have 30 seconds left.
Grace period.
So, yeah. Kami, you were gonna be off in 30 seconds, but you stayed up for 1 minute 45 seconds, so you qualify as well.
Alright.
But what about
As far as the word of the day,
That will be the
only
grammar.
word.
Why did I use
Wait, wait,
it?
wait.
Was I supposed to use the word
Wait,
facetious?
grammarian.
Grammarian, yes.
Yeah.
You call it grammarian.
Yes, now the grammarian let us know who used the word of the day
Okay.
on the table topic.
All right, everybody use the word of the day. I'm being facetious. So.
Aha,
There's
I hear
only
that.
one guy who used the word of the day, and that's Vas.
Buzz? Is there anyone? All right, get up to Buzz.
You're supposed to learn how to add words to your vocabulary.
My name
Oh,
was.
I know.
It's an exercise.
My name was.
Technically.
Okay,
I had a good.
we don't vote, because Buzz won.
That's one.
Automatically.
He's the only one who put
One
automatically.
more chance to just.
Next
We'll
time.
give you another chance, but next week.
I didn't know how to use it.
It's really
And now we're gonna return control
hard.
to
Ask you a question.
a Toastmaster of the day, that's
Right.
Adolfo Morataya.
Let's give a good hand to Jesse for his role of Table Topics Master today. Come on. Thank you, Jesse. Those were good questions, and I think some people will learn to use the word of the day. Don't worry, I've been doing this for a while and I forget all the time the word of the day. So,
No voting.
that's okay, that means there is no voting, no need to vote. However, we're going to continue now with this section where we're going to evaluate the speakers, and to do that, we're going to have one person here that happens to be the one that is going to control that section of our meeting today. And this individual has many years with Toastmasters. He has been a mentor to our club already, and he has been a great value to us for that. And we want to welcome with a good hand, Bobby.
Thank you, Adolfo. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, apologize for coming late. I drove all the way from Cerritos. And I had to change cars with my wife. And today, we have two speakers, very interesting speakers, and we are going to do the evaluation of this speech, of their speech. And to do that, for the first speaker, Karina Teng, the evaluator is Adolfo.
That's right.
Adolfo has been a member of this club for, what, how many years now? 2 years?
Close to.
Close to. And you already completed your 10 speeches, right?
60 and 60.
60. So please help me welcome Adolfo.
Since they have the same project, do we, the evaluators remain here, or one should step out?
No, I will call on you to give your evaluation for Roy.
Because they have the same project.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Different
Yeah.
speakers.
Because I can copy from Adolfo.
I make it difficult for you. That's good. Now, let's see. My first trip to Las Vegas. In this evaluation, I would like to indicate again that Karina accomplished the objectives which are select the right words to accurately describe the speech, and also eliminate unnecessary jargon and correct grammar. Now, I must say that I'm very happy to see a person like Karina evolve so quickly, in the way she speaks and the way she approaches the audience and makes the delivery of the speech. Notice in this speech, Karina told us about an experience that she had. And that is really a very good choice. When you select an experience of your own, you are ready to communicate it vividly. She selected the right words as is desired for this number 4 speech. And she constructed for us an environment where we were reliving that trip to Las Vegas, where we were in this Buick or boat, right? Driving in there, and the car slowly, there's a problem there. What are we gonna do? And that type of feeling, we got it. And I thought that was excellent. And also the different parts of the speech where she tell us about the trouble that they went to a gas station and the suspense that they had in the gas station, along with the burning on the hot air that she experienced in the summer, and lips getting dry and that feeling, and then arriving to Vegas and deciding to come back the same night. And you know what, it's a little bit like you just get there and then you have to go back, and she communicated very well those feelings. And I would say the delivery was great. The other part I would like to say that was positive was a good beginning. She started the speech with a question. A very simple question, but that motivates everybody to participate. Right? Have you been in Vegas? Who hasn't been in Vegas, right? That's a simple question that still raises your eyes and makes you pay attention to the speaker. Also, the structure of the speech was well organized. Karina spent some time organizing that speech and putting it together. There is a great improvement, and I would like to, this is a great improvement I see on Karina. 2 points I would like to say is, if you notice, Karina started very energetically, but one thing we do a lot, is that we kind of diminish the energy towards the end. But the speech was so well structured that still we were into it. But I would say, Karina, you can improve a lot more if you keep that energy towards the end. Because you have the material there within you, it's your experience and everything, and you can say, my God, that gas station was shut down, and you show more that emotion. You see, that energy, that is, I would say that. And the other part is just at the very beginning, and this is something that is useful for any speech, when you come here to speak, people are going to listen to you, particularly when you start. And one key secret that many speakers do use is to speak very slow at the beginning. Don't worry, people won't get attentive and distracted. Just speak slow at the beginning. And that will command, and they will listen to you more. A question that is made at the beginning slow is excellent, good way to start a speech. In general, I love your speech, Karina. Just remember that energy, which is more like, I would say, it's more like a combination of conviction and passion for the experience you have. More passion, right? Where you communicate that with being happy and being smiley and being sad and being a little bit going like this. That type of expression will be great. But seems like what you do, your gestures were good, your communication was good, you look at everybody around, you walk relaxed on the stage. You didn't put your hands like that. No, you did very good. So for that, Karina, thank you for the speech. I'm looking forward to hearing more and seeing more of your improvement. Thank you very much.
And for our next evaluator, she's, I think she already did like 7, 8 speeches. Or you completed the manual, right?
Yeah.
She's one of our dynamic speakers. Always with a smile. And very, I would say, very animated. So please help me welcome Beatrice.
All right.
Thank you. Wow, today is an awesome day, don't you think so?
Yes.
Especially because Roy spoke. And to describe Roy in one word, or maybe 2 words, I'll call him our extemporaneous educator. So what I found out when I first met Roy, let me just get to the first opinion of what I had about Roy. When I first met him, he came here and he was given a chance to, on a table topic. And when I saw him, I didn't expect what I heard. He had a sense of humor and that clarity, and I was like, oh wow, this is the person we should choose whenever we have a table topic contest. And that was in my mind all the time because he was so spontaneous. So what I would like to say about today's speech on relationships, that's my subject. That's what I counsel on. So relationships is my strength. And when I heard something today so different, so new, I was glued to what he was saying. And I think he held everyone's attention, don't you agree? Yes. He spoke about acquaintances, he spoke about people who you just hi bye to. And then he spoke about friends and sexy friend? Oh my goodness, I never heard that before. This is the first time I'm hearing that. And then he speaks about committed lovers. Okay, good. But does this fall in my dictionary as I am his evaluator? I would say it was all new to me. Because for me, I don't know the difference. I don't know the differences which Roy today laid out to us so clearly, that these people who don't come with you to a game, like he gave us an example, they are your acquaintances. And for me, there's no such thing as acquaintance. You're my friend, that's it. You're coming with me, that's it. That's who I am. Whether he met the objectives of this speech, yes he did, because he has a very good command over the language. Being a teacher, he teaches all of us. And we are so comfortable, learning from him. And he met the objectives, he spoke clearly, he used the right words, which the objectives say that you have to be accurate, you have to be clear, you have to be vivid. So what he spoke was imaginable, especially about the sexy friend. I don't know where your imaginations took you. So I think he met the objectives. If I would suggest an improvement,
It's difficult for me to find one, but to be simple and clear, I would say that get a little more animated, but oh, it's just me. But overall, I would say awesome. Today was a beautiful speech, so.
All right, good job.
Okay, can we get a timer's report?
Yes. Adolfo's evaluation was 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Qualified. Beatrice's with 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Qualified.
All right. Now, did we have a counter?
Yes, the counter
With the counter?
is Jesse.
Jesse?
Yes.
Can you report it for the?
Oh, the outcomer, okay, absolutely. 1 second. Okay, Karina, she had 1 and 2 so's. Adolfo had 1 3 uhs, and 2 so's. Roy had 4 Beatrice, 5 so. Bus, 1. Bobby, 0. What, miss him? And Fernando, Langani, and
Kami.
Kimi.
Kami.
Kami, okay, 0. I didn't notice anything. And myself, I didn't catch myself. I'm sure I did something.
Okay. Now, as your grammarian, the only thing I know, everybody did great as far as the use of the English language is concerned. One comment for Karina, when you said, I think the car was overheated, you would probably say overheated, or the engine was overheated, I think. That's the only thing I caught. Overall, as your general evaluator, I'm supposed to give comments on anything or everything that happens in the meeting. I already apologize for my being late, so I commend you for starting the meeting on time. Now, as far as the evaluations is concerned, first of all, on the speeches, I think those speeches were great. But I would like to encourage you to be mindful of your hand gestures. Roy, I know that you had your hands on the back all the time. Sometimes you... The speeches are basically a visual, mostly a visual presentation. A study in, there's a study done by in UCLA that says that only the impact of the speeches, 7% is accounted by the words that you use. Okay, 38% is accounted for the sound, the voice, but 55% is the body gesture, so it's more visual. So sometimes you may not be able to say the right words or maybe speak right in the right tone or vocal, with the right vocal projection, but with your body gesture you can communicate what you meant. So be mindful. Always remember that the speech is a visual presentation. And whatever you do, if you're standing like this, you evoke a different image, like you're too lax, too lazy. But if you're like this, you could be like a pedantic, like you're being a teacher to people. You know? So be aware of the use of your hands. Now, having said that, now, as far as the evaluation is concerned, we had good evaluation. I would suggest that you focus not too much on the content, focus first on the objectives, okay? And then there are several other factors that you can talk about on the speech. Like you talk about the organization. How was the organization done? The gesture, you know, because you only have 2 to 3 minutes. You cannot give out all the, all the things that you have to say. When you start talking about certain things, you run out of time. Okay. My formula that I always suggest is 3 plus 2. I mean, it's like look for 3 good things in your speech. in the speech that you're evaluating, and at least 2 suggestions. That way, the speaker will come away, go home with something to think about, something that they can be proud of, and something that they could probably improve on. So having said that, I think we had a good meeting, and thanks for the table topics questions. I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, only one person mentioned the word of the day. You can take my word as being facetious. But then, nonetheless,
Mr. Evaluator,
yes, sir.
we need to request for us to vote for the best evaluator.
Ah, that's good. That's good point. Thank you for reminding me. So,
I'll be
please
collecting
vote for the
votes.
best evaluator.
I think I was an evaluator.
Oh, okay, so.
I think,
You can still
did
vote.
you vote for evaluator?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But I don't know if I put it the wrong ballot in there because I have this one. Tabletop.
That's okay. With whatever name of the 2 are
Okay,
there, then
okay.
they know. Beatrice.
And now I return control back to our Toastmaster.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Thanks to Bobby for this evaluation position here. Thank you very much. And now, as quick as that, we're gonna go as long as our president is ready.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, then while they get ready, because our president will conclude the meeting, but we will have one more event here that is gonna take place, and he's gonna taking care of that right now. And I don't know if there is any comments from anybody, maybe
First time.
the first timers, Fernando, would you like to tell us what you think of this meeting as it's being concluded?
I don't think of it, I know that it's a great benefit for anybody that wants to further the knowledge and speaking and just being around positive people, people that have a will. So therefore, I give it 2 thumbs up.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. And how about Katie, can you tell us what you think of this meeting today?
Yeah, I really liked it, and same as Fernando, I give it 2 thumbs up, and I'm definitely gonna join
All right.
Toastmasters. So thanks to Voss for bringing me.
Thank you very much, thank you very much. Okay, our president, are you ready, Mr. President?
Yes, I am, just.
Okay, great. So, with that said, then let's welcome back, if he's ready, our president, Jesse Abrao.
All right, good job, Rolf. Rolf did a great job today, like always. Now we're gonna present some awards. And 1 second to get set up right here,
All right.
and we'll get it done. Okay, this is the fun part. Now we're gonna call. I'm gonna be giving some awards, and also to to people that won in our contest. However, I'm gonna call for the first timer for being here with us, was able to participate with us. We are gonna call. Excuse me, 1 second, let me get this. Katie, coming up. Katie, I apologize. I'm not here, let me get this. Here, let me shake your hand. That's how we do it. For the camera.
Here's the camera.
Can we just get this here? Just a second. 1 second, 1 second. 1 second. Good smile.
Beatrice?
Cheese?
All right, thank you very much. All right. And our next, that'll be Fernando coming up. Yeah.
Like gang members, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't discriminate, I was going to the gym, and you guys caught me on the way in.
All right,
Like
yeah.
this.
There you go.
Can you go like this?
If you want.
Let's do that, because I don't want to, I don't.
One more, hold it.
All right, good job.
All right.
Let's
For
do
you,
it.
for you.
You see, I don't know how to cover it. That doesn't look too like.
And now we're gonna call for the table topics. The only one,
No competition.
and the one and only, no competition. Knock it out of the park, Mr. Boss. Good job.
Cheese. Cheese.
All right, good job. There you go. Awesome, awesome. And here we go. The best speaker for today. All hands. Tight. Nervous, excitement. Who would that be? Let's go, Karina! Yeah! Karina. Knocking it out.
I like it.
All right. And let's call our best evaluator. The best of the best for today. Who would that be? Would it be Adolfo? Would it be Beatrice?
Come on, don't forget.
Let's call Adolfo Morataya! Yeah!
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Someone rigged the.
All right, good job. Then she goes, please don't make me suffer no more. All right. We almost done with our meeting. Is there any comments, Adolfo, anything, announcements that we need to address to our members?
No.
No? Anything
And
else?
one other
Bobby?
thing I would say is, anybody would like to do a speech, let me know please, for next meeting. Would you like to do one? Okay, very good. Got you.
Anything else, Bobby? You good?
The district conference, but this is different division already, right?
We
Not
are-
yet, June,
We're not part of Division E, right?
Division 12.
12.
Okay, so, no. I take it back because I'm thinking of Division E.
Okay.
No, District M.
Founders District.
Oh, Founders District.
But we're still Founders District.
Oh, okay. We have this Founders District conference in Cerritos, Sheraton,
Okay, sir. Oh, really?
on
Okay, yeah,
April
that's right.
20.
Oh.
And
April
there's a
20, that's Saturday.
Yeah, the Saturday, and there's a business meeting portion. The club president and the
Yes.
BPE is expected. If you cannot come, there's a proxy vote that you can pass on to your area governor,
Mhm.
so that he will carry those votes that you have, and you will use that to place the votes, wherever he chooses. Because there's going to be an election of certain officers. That's why it's important that those votes are counted.
Okay, perfect.
Right?
Yeah,
So
we'll work
just
on that.
check with Peter Ling and maybe Chandra.
Mhm.
Chandra? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes.
If there's anything else, we'll definitely want to thank you for being here today and being committed to a club. Thank you also to our guests. It was a great experience having you here and share with us your experiences. With that being said, meeting has adjourned. All right.
You're looking more relaxed.
I work on that, yeah, I work care jobs.
Do you have a speech, Chandra?